to my talk series English with Purpose. I'm Vera, or the Mindful English Language Coach, and I empower professionals to find their unique and confident voice in English. The idea of English with Purpose talks was with me for a long time, and I finally am here. The goal is to ignite conversation around the fact that English can be a connector or a tool that can help us express our views and our thoughts and our ideas with the rest of the world. And part of the goal for this talk is that I want to release the pressure of perfection for professionals where English isn't the native language. Ready for an interesting conversation? Follow me. Okay, hello guys. Here I am with a new guest. And this guest is from Greece. I'm partly from Greece, so we have a little bit more in common than with other speakers. This is Christos, and we connected Christos a while ago. Was it a year ago, maybe?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, maybe a year ago, because I liked the posts on LinkedIn about mindset and health and well-being, because I'm really passionate about that. And I thought to invite you to my talks and talk about mindset and procrastination, because these are your topics too as a coach.
Indeed, indeed.
Okay, so my first question is, you work with people as a coach. I also work with people. What exactly do you do with them?
That's a great question. And Vera, thank you so much for having me here. I appreciate it a lot.
You're very welcome.
So what I usually do, I started as a health and nutrition coach, like in the older days. So helping people with fitness, nutrition, weight loss. But then I started realizing that there are many things beneath the surface outside of weight loss and all these things. And there's always like something more. And I wanted to approach things in a more holistic way. So what I do right now is I work mainly with solopreneurs and small business owners. And I love working with coaches, to be honest. I resonate with them a lot. And I help them run their business in a more healthy way, like having work-life balance, taking care of themselves, making time for what matters, having a great mindset to keep moving forward, because entrepreneurship can be very, very challenging sometimes. And without the right tools, we can get disappointed. It's like the roller coaster, as they say. So I usually focus more on self-care, productivity, and mindset work. Is what I do.
You've been talking a lot about procrastination and the feeling of this is too much for me, or this is new to me, unknown, I better put it off, I better not do it. What kind of examples can you give me of procrastination in connection to your clients or the work you do?
A classic one is that they have so many things to do that they end up doing nothing. It is so overwhelming to them, many different projects, many different
priorities.
Guilty. Yeah, all of us. And it is so easy, to get overwhelmed with like crazy to-do list. I have this to do and this to do, and then jumping from one task to another and accomplishing nothing. And this becomes like a habit because it's so overwhelming. If you're like, okay, I don't want to deal with this, I just don't want to deal with this right now. I'm just going to take a break. And this break keeps becoming bigger and bigger. And it becomes like a habit. So instead of actually tackling the hard tasks of the day, you go on YouTube, you go to watch cat videos. We love cats, both of us.
Yeah.
You go read a book, you go, I don't know, do the dishes, do laundry, anything else, because it's so intimidating that you cannot even start.
So I can relate to that. Personally, I've done it and I'm doing it from time to time. And I can also relate to that as a coach, because people tell me I don't have the time to dive into improving my English. I don't have the time to, do homework every day. I don't have the time to, fill in the gap. This busyness, this alertness to me is saying a lot of things. So for you, what does that mean when we do that, when we enter this mode?
Well, it depends on the person, really. It's like, usually it's that they don't have correct priorities. And that's the main problem that I usually see. They don't have a strong why sometimes, like they're not connected to their business vision, why they do what they do. They're like caught in the business, like I have to do all these things, I have to do all these things. And what I usually start is we focus on, instead of saying have to, I choose to. I don't have to do that, I choose to do that. And even like to take it a step further, I get to do that. And this changes the frame a lot. We have like this, especially when we run our own businesses, we are actually blessed. We don't realize that because we do what we love and we have the freedom to actually run our own businesses. We're our own boss, in control of everything. And this can be intimidating, of course, but on the other hand, it's very freeing. It's like the ultimate freedom. Do exactly what you want, work with the people that you want, run your business. And the problem is, without the right priorities, many people get distracted in many different things. They don't have the clear vision and why, milestones, goals, and what they want to achieve in their lives, what success looks like to them. So it's like very vague to the mind. And like vagueness usually creates confusion, while specificity creates clarity. The more specific you are.
That's very, very easy and simple to say, but to really put it into practice is another thing, right?
That's the problem. What we usually do with clients is quite simple. It makes perfect sense. We just, for some reason, we don't do it.
And why don't we do it since it's so simple?
That's a good question. Because our brains are like wired in a very weird way. I don't think our brains are made for what we do right now. Like it's especially like sitting down on the computer, doing all these things. We have like more primitive brains. We want to spend more time outside, do different things. And we need to adjust a little bit.
Yeah. I think the next question is, people ask me, clients or people that I am in conversation with, is procrastination good or bad? Because we feel guilty. We are afraid or putting things off, but we cannot change. And in my view, I say it's not good, it's not bad. It's a protection system. And I've been there, for example, getting ready for my driving license in Switzerland. I've been putting it off for years until I actually really visualized why I would like to do that. I did it. And I took action in small steps, not a big leap. And people are afraid of big leaps. And I always say, I think you need to know the why, find the way to do it, but also keep the intention alive, not the goal. For me, a goal is like a golden coin that you want to win, but what is the intention behind this? I think people don't realize that when they tell me, I want to speak really good English because I have to be in front of my boss and have presentations. That yes, okay. Is this the motivation? Is this the intention? Is this the goal? And they usually tell me that's the goal. That's what I want to win. But the intention is also important. What do you think?
It's very important. Yeah, 100%. It's like, why do you want to achieve that goal? That's number one. And number two is we usually get caught up in goals. I only set goals as milestones and having just something to aim at. That's what I only use goals for.
For example?
It can be in the business, for example. Like I want to have like this amount of clients, this amount of revenue, all these things. But the problem with these goals is that they are outside of our control. That's why I never put goals like that with my clients. I don't like the idea I'm going to have, let's say, I don't know, like 10K months or like this 6-figure business, all these things. I cannot control that. What I can control is how many people I speak to, how many events I go to, what kind of networking I do, if I'm posting on LinkedIn, if I'm engaging with people, So instead of saying I want to have like, I don't know, 5 clients per month, it's more healthy to say I want to start conversations with 5 people a day, for example, because this is something which you can actually control. You cannot control the outcome. You can control what you actually do. And you mentioned something before, if it's good or bad. And I also agree with that. It's not good. It's not bad. It's, as the Stoics say, there's nothing good or bad. Only thinking makes it so, our judgment about it.
Yeah.
And we should never like hit ourselves, like slap ourselves in the face that it's bad. Why did you do that? No, usually procrastination is just a sign that something is off. You need to do something. And considering the goals and the intention you mentioned, a very important thing is to just set a goal as a milestone, something to aim at. But the most important thing is to have a system. Just to give you an example, if you want to lose weight, you can set a goal of, I want to lose 10 pounds by the end of the month or something. Again, something you cannot control. And the problem with goals is that we usually are like in this binary success failure state. So 99%, my cat is like in the background, 99% of the time we're living this like pre-success failure, and then we actually achieve the goal, we get a short-term high, and we lose the one thing that gave us purpose. That's why I don't like goals. They're only milestones. What I want to focus is systems.
Yeah.
So the goal is to lose 10 pounds. The system is, what are you going to eat every day? What are your habits, your actions? What kind of food do you eat, your diet, all these things. And if you apply your system, you win every single day. You go through the steps of your system and you win every single day. But with goals, you only win once. That's the problem. That's why I love systems instead of goals.
For me, systems, yes, I understand what you're saying, but for me is also to work with the feelings, right? It's the feeling of fear, the feeling of failing. What if I do it and I'm not successful? And many people ask me, okay, if we get together and you coach me for 6 months, can you guarantee that I will be doing X, Y, Z with my English? And I say, well, no, I'm not Harry Potter. I think this is a collaboration. This is teamwork. And we need to find the blockages. We need to find why you speak to yourself in that way and what can we improve. I think we are conditioned with comparing ourselves to others. Whether it's success, whether it's fitness, whether it's, I have no idea, name it. And this can add to putting off things, feeling, it's out of my comfort zone. I will never do it. I'm safe in my bubble. And you know what I'm talking about. You've been there, we've all been there, but could you share maybe a personal experience that you were in your bubble and you went out of it, and what did you learn?
I have multiple experiences like that. Like all of us, it's the only way to grow, and it is quite uncomfortable. But the main thing would be, one thing was like jumping from engineering to actually starting my own business. Becoming a freelancer graphic designer, working online, something like that. But the most recent one is actually starting my coaching business, which was something completely different. Like, I come from an engineering background, and coaching and engineering have some things in common, but they're completely different fields. And I also became a graphic designer, which is also a very different field too. So I literally had to reinvent myself. It was so uncomfortable. I was never a social media guy. I didn't know how to run a business. I had to change my identity, start putting myself out there, face my fears, face past trauma. And actually, my mentor used to say that if you want to grow and face your fears, start your own business. And the thing that if you're like running an e-commerce business and you're selling a product, you can technically hide behind the product. But we are the product, quote unquote. So we are putting ourselves out there. And it's even more scary. We are selling ourselves a little bit, which creates like, especially like seeing yourself on video, putting yourself out there, people are going to judge me. People are going to say all these things about me. So you face all these fears, and it's very, very uncomfortable. And it's a journey that I've been doing for the last 3 years right now, like starting my own coaching business. And I've been facing my fears every single day.
Wow. Yeah. Brave soul. So if you could share maybe 3 breakthroughs or 3 things you've learned from this experience, would be what?
3 breakthroughs. Let's see. That one is, don't take yourself too seriously. We think we're like also like the spotlight effect. We think that people are like watching us all the time, But in reality, people, especially in the beginning, they don't even care. And I'm not saying this in a pessimistic way. We think we're at the center of the universe, but we're not. We think that we're going to put this video, like this post on LinkedIn, everybody's going to laugh at us. Like 95% of the people won't even see it, you know? So that's number one. Number two is take it step by step, a little bit at a time, you know, like being a little bit uncomfortable, because if it's not uncomfortable enough, you're not growing. If it's too uncomfortable, it's intimidating. It can actually,
The big leap now, the big jump, do it now, the whole way.
Yeah. It's like swimming, you know, like straight into the ocean. It can be so intimidating. They can actually create a negative association with what you do.
Yeah.
And it's not healthy. Yeah. And number three would be, it's not the importance of what you're selling, let's say, in your product. It's more about the people that you know, showing like up authentically and meeting great people along the way. This is going to help you grow your business. Like networking and meeting great people is the only way to organically grow your business. That's what I feel.
Yeah. I want to take it a step further and say, these are great learnings. And for me, when I listen to this, I can sense a feeling of bravery and also self-love, because you care about yourself and you want to, take the steps and don't take yourself too seriously, enjoy the process. And some people, or most of the people, and including me sometimes, get lost in this, okay, this is my strategy, this is how I want to do it, let's start now, every day. And the sense of giving self-love, like today I'm thinking I will take it a bit slower, or I'm not going to do any of it. It doesn't mean that I procrastinate. It means that I'm just taking a rest or, doing something else, but I'm coming back to it. I think as a coach, we have huge responsibility to show people that they are the leaders. They are in control of their actions, but with a lot of self-love and kindness.
Yeah, exactly. Like being kind to ourselves and listening to our bodies. This is very important.
Yeah.
Because we rarely do that these days.
I have a very recent, sorry to interrupt. I'm just passionate because I have a recent example with a woman I'm working now, and she was invisible in the meeting room, although she's a director, because this fear of, if I speak English, my accent will appear, people will judge me, and what if this American guy sitting across to me give me a question and I don't understand, or I don't say a fancy answer? Okay, I give it to my partner to deal with the whole thing. And we discussed about the fear takes over the kindness or the self-love of, okay, it's my first time, I will do my best, and I'm here because I have something to offer and something to important, a message to share, and why people should laugh at me if I'm not American or British. And we've talked about it before together, how an accent can create this trip in your head. They will know I'm Greek. They will know I'm Spanish. They will know.
This is the story of my life.
But they will know. And I said,
literally,
this is about identity and honoring who you are and bringing your message. It has nothing to do with grammar. It has nothing to do with, being British, being someone else. It has to do with exactly this, taking gentle steps towards to embracing yourself and sharing your message. And why this is a story of your life, your accent?
No, because it's something that I've been facing for a lot of time. It was one of the limiting beliefs that I had. One of the huge, big blocks in my way, a roadblock, because I'm like, I do not speak English good enough. I have an accent. People are going to make fun of me. And having starting your own business, putting yourself out there was already intimidating. And this was the extra layer. And it took me a while. I had so many limiting beliefs, that because I'm Greek, I'm like less intelligent than other people because I speak English. These are native speakers, they speak much better than me.
Yeah.
And they're going to laugh at me. They're going to think that I'm like less like compared to them, and all these crazy thoughts. And instead of focusing on the message, I was getting caught up in my accent all the time. Like, especially because when I started, I joined many different coaching programs, and 99% of the people were native speakers there. So I'm like, I felt behind. I had very good listening and comprehension and all these things, but I was a little bit reluctant to actually speak.
Yeah.
I wasn't as eloquent as them because it was not my native language.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then my mentor told me that instead of seeing your accent as a liability, you can see it as an asset.
Yeah.
And this literally like flipped a switch in me. It's like it can be something that differentiates you. It makes you different.
Yes. Yes.
And I love that.
You are unique anyway.
Yeah.
And I tell that to everybody, that even native speakers make mistakes, and it's not a privilege because you are a native and you speak English that makes you smarter or better in any way. You just have the advantage, let's say linguistically, to be able to be more flexible in that language. But I live in another country. I live in a country where German or Swiss German is spoken, and I really have sometimes these ideas, okay, if I open my mouth and it's German and maybe I'm not perfect and I make mistakes, and people ask me, oh, are you French? And I say, why? Because you sound like French speaking German. And I said, no, not really. Okay, let's switch to English. So you can see from all the angles, the fear, the comparison, and lately, I also switched flip the switch, and I said, well, okay, I'll do my best. If you don't understand me, okay, ask me, and please speak slower. That doesn't make me dumb. I just want to understand clearly what you're saying.
Indeed, yeah. And one thing that helped me, I know it sounds probably, I don't know if it's silly or not, is
nothing is silly.
I'm learning Japanese right now.
Yeah.
Which is a beautiful language. And I'm like at a very basic level, like A2, probably something like that. I can have very like basic conversations. And I used to think that my English is not good enough. And I'm having lessons in English, and then I transition to Japanese and try to speak. And then I go back to English and it's relieving, I'm like, I can finally express myself freely. So I'm like, my English level is quite good right now. And like this comparison helped me a lot, trying to speak a new language and reverting back to English. And I'm like, okay, this feels right. This feels good,
Yes. When I think people have a lot of languages to go back and to, I think it's a privilege because it can show that you can think in different ways, in different languages, and think. Many people tell me, when I speak English, I become different, or I change, when I speak German, I change. And when I ask, what do you mean? It is this whole new awareness you have when you really dive into the language and you stay in the language. It has nothing to do, I have to become someone else because I have to be British and I'm Greek or I'm German. It's more of, okay, let's tune into the sound of it. Let's tune into the vocabulary of it, and be aware of my voice, for example. Yeah, but
I have the same experience too. Yeah, like when I transition from different language. Yeah, it takes time, and sometimes indeed I feel like a different person. Like it's slightly different identity, different idioms, different phrases, it's a different way of thinking. Especially with Japanese, it's like a completely different language.
Yeah.
It is so different that you literally understand that if I grew up in Japan, for example, I would be a different person just because I was, because I would be thinking in a different language, which the structure is completely different. I would think in a different way. Yeah.
And also the way you would have the intonation, right? Your voice.
Exactly.
It is all of, a sum of many things. And I think it's also the cultural aspect, right? the way British speak, the way Japanese speak, Swiss speak, and so on. Going back to fear of changing or fear of doing new things. I would like to just say, if you could live with a message today to our audience, what would it be in relation to feeling afraid to try new things, or feeling afraid or putting off doing things that you know you want to do, but
Many things come to mind, but the one thing that I usually like have it like in a post-it on my background, something, because I'm a big fan of the Stoics, of Stoicism, as I told you.
Yeah,
Probably
I
because
gathered.
I'm Greek. I don't know. I'm biased. Definitely.
I gathered, yeah.
It's a beautiful quote from Seneca that says, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." And this has changed the game for me, because literally I've been finding myself worrying, thinking about all the negative outcomes, and most of these things never happen. So we create like this bubble of fear, like, oh my God, this and this. And in reality, it's like that big, and we make it that big. And we suffer in our own heads.
Yes.
And usually action creates clarity. So when you feel fear, if you start thinking about it and worrying, it's not going to work. You need to take a small step. Like any kind of small action will help you actually face that fear and create more clarity and keep moving forward.
Yeah. And for me, it's this exactly, in my language, or the way I would express it, is gentle persistence. Like really,
I love that.
Go gently, but keep doing that. And if you want to have some help, it's another way, another fear to overcome, to ask for help, right? Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah.
We could talk for hours, I think.
Easily.
But
I think
thank
so
you so
too,
much,
yeah.
Christos. It's really nice conversation, and I think you guys are going to enjoy that, and probably you will resonate with us. And if so, do get in touch with Christos or with me. Have more questions. We're here to have a chat, even a conversation. And yeah, until next time. Thanks, Christos.
Beautiful. Vera, thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.